Hello, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Welcome back to my channel. This is your girl, Ishegun Oluwatolulope Ogunleye Ayahadewusi. I am very excited because guess what? We are in the jolly season, which we have to be merry, we have to be nice, and we have to share a whole lot of love, which I have a whole lot to give, guys. So today we're gonna be shooting a wonderful episode of Tolu Cook or Cooking with Tolu. And today I'm making one of my favorite dishes. I love to make this for birthdays, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, even any party, or sometimes just for an evening dinner. Today we are making fried rice and chicken. Of course, it's Christmas. We have to have the festive meal. And when I'm talking about fried rice, I'm talking about the authentic, original Nigerian fried rice and chicken. Now, let me introduce you to the ingredients I'll be using before I keep on blabby, because if you can see, I'm all dressed up for y'all. I'm in the season. Did you hear that? It says it's Merry Christmas. So, now let me introduce you to the ingredients we're gonna be using today for the fried rice and chicken. The ingredients we're gonna be using for this Nigerian authentic fried rice is, of course, right in here. We're gonna be using some parboiled rice. I have 10 cups. We have the chicken broth. I have to have chicken broth in my fried rice. Whenever I boil up my chicken or I steam my chicken, I always want the broth so I can use it for my fried rice. It gives it a whole lot of in-depth flavor, which I'm still gonna put a little bit of liquid, which is the water, but I love to have my broth. This is my chicken already boiled up and diced up, and for me to season this chicken, I actually used some chicken bouillon, salt, curry, thyme, sage, and garlic and ginger paste, homemade garlic and ginger paste that I actually made. And now I have my white onions. Some people prefer to go on the slice like the round, but I prefer the moon shape. I have my medium sized shrimp, fresh shrimp that I'm gonna be using here. Right here is about 2 pounds. I have my boiled cut up liver in that bowl. Now for the vegetables, I'm gonna be using some peas and carrots. in here. I actually put them together in this bowl. I'm gonna be using some sweet corn. This is some green beans, which I was still cutting the rest of the green beans. And right here, I have some spring onions that is going in this fried rice. And in this plate, I have my red bell pepper already cut up. That is the fresh one. That's the fresh one. I have my sweet yellow pepper. In the next plate, I have my orange pepper. They're all sweet peppers. And in this, I have my green pepper. Now for the seasoning of this wonderful dish, I'm gonna be using, of course, there is no fried rice without curry. You have to have curry. Not just any kind of curry. You want to make sure that the curry that you're using is very, very good. Some people in Nigeria like the lion curry. It depends on what part of the world you have, but just make sure that your curry is a good curry. You want to smell it. You don't want it to just be something you put in and it just messes up the taste of your rice. So this is curry. I have in here some salt. I have in here some thyme. You gotta have your thyme for your fried rice, man. And in here is chicken bouillon. My fried rice I have to have white pepper. So in here is my white pepper. In here I have some marjoram leaf, and for me I like to put that in my fried rice because it gives it some aromatic and warm flavor. It actually helps all the flavor come out, like it helps it bring out the flavors in them. And in here, honestly, this is my secret ingredient, and it is my nutmeg. I do not cook fried rice without putting nutmeg in it. If you don't put nutmeg in your fried rice, try this one out. You'll come and thank me. And also I have my bay leaf. So guys, also before I go into cooking, I have my chicken. I'm using the add-in. Already I have it seasoned and I have it marinating for about 4 hours. So the chicken is right here. It's seasoned with Maggi salt. It's seasoned with Maggi salt, onions, onion powder, curry, thyme, ginger, and garlic paste. So it's right here. It's ready to go. So I can actually bake this, fry this, or saute it in the pot on the medium heat, and it will be wonderful to go with the fried rice I'm cooking. Guys, this is Tolu, and let the fun begin.
Tell me who you know, who plans better, that dream come true. Yeah. She not there disappoint, creating authentic African cuisine. Even intercontinental dishes. She know they carry last though.
So guys, the first thing is I have my chicken in the glass bowl. I'm gonna bake the chicken today. So I have my chicken going into the oven. So I have my chicken going right there in the oven. And I'm gonna bake my chicken on 350. And I'm gonna set it up for 30 minutes. So while that is baking already, and I'm gonna go back to the sink, I'm gonna start washing my rice because I want my rice to drain for the time I'm ready to use it. So I have that in there. So I'm just gonna pour my rice. I'm gonna transfer my rice into the sieve. I like to use a sieve to wash my rice because that way, when I use the sieve, I'm not losing any rice, and it sits into a bowl of water. The water goes in it. I can get it rinsed quicker and easier without losing rice. So if you see here, I have a bath of water under it. I can always, you can see the water comes right into the sieve. So that helps get my rice going faster. gonna do it one more time just to make sure that I get my rice as clean as I want it. Then I'll rinse whatever is left in the bowl and add it to it. So now I have my rice already clean. I have it in the sieve because I want all the water to come out of it. So that is gonna be ready for when I'm ready to start frying my rice. Now I'm gonna go over to the stove because I'm gonna start working 2 pots hand in hand. I'm gonna be frying my vegetables together while I'm gonna be frying my rice on the other side of the stove. So come on, let's go cooking. So I'm going to be using the non-stick pot for the frying of the vegetables, and I'm going to be using the iron cast pot for the frying of the rice because that's where I'm actually going to do most of my cooking. Like I said before, like in the jollof rice video, you can also watch that. That is a very good recipe that we actually walk through. In the jollof rice video, I always say I like to use this pot because when it actually sticks to the bottom of the pot, it doesn't come up and go right into the rice. If I use a non-stick pot, the minute it has a little bit of burnt or something, it's gonna come up. It's not gonna stick to the pot. It's gonna come right back into the food, and it's gonna make the food messy. Guys, I love fried rice so much. I have my olive oil here. So for me to start up the rice, I'm gonna turn that on both stoves. So I'm gonna put some oil in both. I'm gonna divide the oil. I'm using 2 cups of oil. So some for my rice and some for the vegetables. As I go along, I'm still gonna put a little bit of liquid butter. That is if I feel like I need it, I'm gonna put it in. I did not list it out as part of the ingredients I'm using because it's kind of optional for me. A lot of people like to start their jollof rice or their fried rice with butter. I like to start my with olive oil. As I walk my way through it, then I can decide if I need more fat in my food, then I can put the liquid butter because it's gonna help me make it moist. So I have 2 pots going on ready. This is gonna be for my vegetables, like I said before, and this is gonna be for my rice. The rice is drained. The first thing I like to do is in this pot, the oil is hot. I put in some onions. This is white onions that I'm actually using. I like to use white onions. So I'm gonna let that saute a little bit. Then, just for about a minute. This is my shrimp. It's already cleaned, ready to go. I'm gonna put in my shrimp. I do not want to overcook it, so when I put it in and I let it kind of fry for about 2 to 3 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and take it out and continue with the rest of the stuff. So that's my shrimps going in. Now in this pot, my shrimp is going on in here. I'm gonna let it fry for a minute. This oil is hot enough. So right in there, I'm gonna come in with my rice and it's gonna make sound. So be careful, guys. I'm just trying to get the rice out of the sieve. There we go. So in this pot, you really do not want your rice to stick. You're gonna keep stirring. The goal to this is you wanna keep stirring. So, and you want to make sure you stir to the bottom of the pot. So we're gonna let this go on for a little while. Then I'm gonna come season it. You see, guys, that's a lot of rice. Of course, it's Christmas. I gotta make sure that I cook enough. That's the oven telling me it's still baking. The chicken is not ready yet. You see, my shrimp is still going on in here. So I'm gonna let my shrimp cook a little bit more. If you notice, I did not put any seasoning in the shrimp because I'm still gonna season all the vegetables well together. and I do not want to over season that. So like the rice is frying here. I know there are different variations to how people cook fried rice, and some people could have different styles of cooking their fried rice, but to be honest with you, I like my whole recipe better. I've tried different styles, but I still come back to this. So when you kind of feel like it's getting heavy and sticky and you see the rice is browning up, when you're cooking fried rice, if you're following my recipe, this is not a meal you want to start up cooking and you start texting or you're on a phone call, you're gonna mess it up. You want to give it your full concentration because you want to get the best out of it. So once you start feeling that it's so hard to turn around, go ahead and put your seasoning because you want that seasoning to actually fry into it. And of course here, I'm gonna give my shrimp another stir. You see the shrimp is cooking fine. About another 2 minutes and it should be out of the pan and I can continue with other stuff. So in my fried rice, I put in, I'm using a half spoon. So I'm gonna put in about 4 of it. So that's 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of thyme. I'm gonna use about 4 of this, of the curry. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of salt. And I'm gonna use half teaspoon. Sorry, it's teaspoon I'm talking about. And I'm gonna use the marjoram leaf, half. And I'm gonna use 1 teaspoon of white pepper. And I'm gonna throw in some leaves, some bay leaves in it. And I'm gonna mix well again. You can see it's now sticking to the bottom of the pot. You do not want it to stick to the bottom of the pot. So you just wanna mix well. Now you can see, now we have it looking yellowy, and that's because of the curry. So we mix that well. You want to make sure that goes in properly all round. That is amazing. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and put in my chicken broth. Did you hear that sizzling? That's insane. I really need that liquid. So at this point, I'm gonna also put in some water just to cover up the rice. And I'm using warm water. Then you mix well. If you look in there, I do not like to put too much broth at the beginning. It's just to cover up the rice. You see? Then I cover that and I reduce the heat to medium. Then I come in here and I come get my shrimp out. So majorly when you're doing your fried rice, you're actually multitasking. If you have a seafood allergy, you can totally skip the shrimp. You don't have to use shrimp, but when we cook it back home, we usually use shrimp and liver. And my kids like chicken, they like sausage, they like smoked turkey in their fried rice. Sometimes when I make the fried rice for them, I put about 5 different proteins. So now I put in the liver. That's the liver. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in the chicken. We have our chicken liver. Has been going on for about 5 minutes, I would say. So at this point, I'm gonna start putting my mixed vegetables. So I will take my green beans and I'll put it in. It depends on how much vegetables you want to see in your fried rice. I love my fried rice to be very, very rich. And guys, daddies, mommies, aunties, this is a perfect way to get your kids or your younger ones to eat their vegetables. It's also the way, you know, we have protein, we have vegetables, we have carbohydrates, we have everything together, coming together in one meal. So I added the green beans, I added the sweet corn, then I have my peas and carrots going right in. So we have all that in there now. So the rest of the vegetables that are left behind. Remember, I have all of this going because I'm cooking for Christmas and I'm cooking for quite a lot of people. If I'm not cooking for as many people, I don't have to have as much quantity. You can always reduce it to your own size. But this is definitely gonna feed a lot of people, and I'm gonna have some in the fridge. I'm gonna send some to my friends and family. You know, we can't have big gathering at this time, so we are not having a party, but I like to give out food. I'm gonna pack them up, put it in a plastic bowl with some chicken on it, and I'm gonna give it out. That way they also have some food coming from my kitchen for the holiday. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and season my vegetable. Now the rice is going, you can see the liquid is almost drying up in there. You don't want to season your rice and don't season your vegetable. By the time it comes together, your vegetable is gonna be bland. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 1 teaspoon, I'm using half a teaspoon, remember? 1 teaspoon, half together gives you 1 teaspoon of curry, 1 teaspoon or 4 teaspoon of thyme, and I'm using same 1 teaspoon of salt, and I'm gonna use just half a teaspoon I'm gonna use half teaspoon of nutmeg, and I'm gonna use whatever I have left, which is about half teaspoon of the marjoram leaf, and I'm gonna use 1 of the white pepper, and I'm gonna throw in a few bay leaves in here, and I'm gonna mix well together. Okay, this is mixed well together. So I'm gonna cover it and let it steam for about 5 minutes. I do not want to overcook my vegetables. So I'm gonna go back to the rice. That's why I tell you it's not a dish that you want to walk away from. If you can see, it's not yet burning, there's still liquid in it, but that liquid is not gonna let the rice get done. So at this point, I'm gonna have to add a little bit of water. You see, it's not dry. You do not want your rice dry, and you do not want to overcook it either. So I'm gonna add some warm water. And I'm gonna mix it in well. Make sure you get the sides, because your seasoning can stay on the side. That's my chicken bacon, which I'm gonna go ahead and turn around and let it go back in for about 10 more minutes. So you wanna scrape in the sides of the pot, and you wanna make sure that whenever you're mixing, you get to the bottom of it. I usually use a wooden spoon when I'm doing my rice recipes, because when you use a metal spoon, it makes your food burn easier. It scratches the bottom of the pot. So I want to level it back up so it can cook evenly. And I top it with a little bit of water. And that water should cook it down. And I'm gonna cover it with a cellophane wrap because I want the steam to build inside and I do not want the steam to escape. So if you look in there, the steam is not gonna escape. You can also use aluminum foil to cover it. And I just put my lid because I want the steam to finish cooking the rice at this point, and I do not want my rice soggy. So I come back to my vegetables. And you can see the steam is there. It has built up the steam real good. It's not burning. And it smells wonderful. This aroma is the bomb. Okay, now we have our vegetable. You can see I do not want it to overcook. I just want to saute it. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and put back the shrimp that I took out. And I'm gonna add my onions. When I start putting this last ingredients, that tells you we're going back to the rice soon. My orange pepper. My yellow pepper. The red. I like using different colors of pepper. You can just use the green and get it over with. But I like using different colors because it makes it look so pretty. So those are all my peppers. And look at this beauty. So all I have to do is mix it in properly. You can actually eat this by itself. If you don't want to mix it together, this is a meal by itself. So this is good. So I'm gonna cover this and let it stay on a very low heat. And let it just kind of simmer until I get my rice ready for me to put it in my rice and mix it well together. So you can see, that's right there. Then I'm going back to the rice. Like I told you, this is a dish you want to be in the kitchen because you're going to be alternating from one to the other. So it's steaming well. So I'm going to go ahead and get the wrap. Look at that. You should be able to tell that the rice is done. Yes, it is. Now you're gonna wonder how I want to mix the vegetable with this rice, this much rice in this pot. That's magic. If you look here, you can see it's not overcooked. That's my chicken. I just want to make sure I mix it all the way down to the bottom. So this is the point I start putting my vegetables. Into my rice. So now what I went ahead and do is I divided the rice into the two pots because I want to be able to mix it well. So I divided it up and I divided up the vegetables also. Then I'm gonna mix it up and I'm gonna go to the other pot right here. And I'm gonna try and mix in the vegetables into the rice. Okay, so we just want to make sure we mix it in well. gonna spread it out. And we're gonna let it simmer because we want the steam to build in it for it to kind of like help all the vegetables and the rice blending together. So we're gonna let that go on for about 3 to 5 minutes. So let me check this. You don't even know what I'm talking about. I'll let you see very soon. I'll let you see. So now the rice has steamed well. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is my spring onions. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my spring onions. It's the last thing I like to put in my fried rice because it cooks easily. So I use that as my garnish for my meal. So, and voila, I'll show you how everything looks on the plate right now. And we can enjoy this Christmas feast together. The holidays are a very special time for me and my family. It brings us all together, and in this household, we celebrate every holiday, whether it is Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, even Nigerians Independence Day, October 1st, we celebrate Barika de Saleh. We celebrate it all. It brings us all together. It lets us share amazing time and wonderful recipes with each other. So making a meal on Christmas Day, it's always a blessing. I do not see it as a chore. I do not see it as me working too much. I just see it as a wonderful time for me to give back to my family and all my wonderful loved ones. Today I made you the Nigerian fried rice. I love to make this for the holidays. I love to make it for every special occasion, birthdays, name it. We don't have to have a big party, but we still celebrate within our own household. We try to stay safe and we try to follow the guidelines that has been set up for us. So today, this is Nigerian fried rice. It has the shrimp, the chicken, the liver, all kind of bell peppers, the green, red, orange, and yellow. It has some green beans, some sweet corn, some carrots, some peas, and some vegetables. Well, all kind of vegetables. I use white onions for these. It is loaded. When I say loaded, this is loaded with a lot of nutrients, a lot of vitamins that is needed for our body, especially in this time. We need to eat healthy, and I have some chicken right here. I actually put some pepper on it, so I made it some soya chicken eventually to have with the fried rice. And right here in my glass is my homemade zobo. Don't worry guys, I'll do a recipe for you. I'll show you how I make my homemade zobo in maybe another episode of Tolu Cooks, but this is really delicious. Honestly, it is loaded with a lot of antioxidants, some vitamins that actually help with all the cold weather out there. So guys, it is a season of love. It is a season of giving. It is a season to be kind to one another. Remember to hold on to your faith. That is the strong and the building block of our lives. Remember to love your family. You don't want to let go of all your wonderful, beautiful friends. The good ones. Remember how I always say the good ones. This is the tree of life, and it keeps us going. It keeps us grounded. It makes our existence have a meaning. So please guys, share the love, share the joy, and remember to tell somebody Merry Christmas and be merry. Enjoy all this recipe, share my videos, like my videos, and subscribe to my channel. I love you, I love you, I love you. This is your girl Tolu Aya Adewusi. See you in the new year and in the next episode of Tolu Cook. Mwah.